Hi gang, welcome to Module 3, and I am really excited about this because here's the thing. This is totally new content. And it's funny because a lot of the tools and sites that we're showing you are very familiar to veterans, but the way we use them and the results that we get are quite different. So this is a module to watch. If you're a veteran, this is something that you want to see because this is the result of 12 months of testing. Now, don't worry if this is your first challenge, please. We're not even going to go into any of that detail. We're just going to show you what you need to do. And it's fantastic. It really is an extraordinary new opportunity to do something which I'm about to explain. And it's this. There are two things that are important to get your site ranked in Google. We need to be on that first page, right? We need to see whether there's the traffic that will justify us putting more effort into our site. That's what this is all about. We've spent the last 2 modules going over and making sure everything is spot on when it comes to what we call the on-screen factors. You know, those yeses in the Market Samurai SEO competition matrix. We want to make sure all of that is spot on. And we've done that. If you followed along with modules 1 and 2, you'll be absolutely spot on. You can do no better. Not the best internet marketer in the world will not do any better than what you've done over these last 2 weeks. So that's the on-page factors. So where there's on-page factors, there must be, you're right, off-page factors. Now, the off-page factors are very simple. It's a thing called backlinks. Now, there have been a million billion courses, millions and trillions and zillions of pages written on all of this. All of it designed to confuse and scare the hell out of anybody who has ever tried to do anything when it comes to backlinks. So, good news. Let's chuck all that out the window. But I do need to explain a concept about backlinks that's very important, and it's simply this, that not every backlink, and what's a backlink? Let's first define that. A backlink is very simple. It's a link back to your site. You've seen them all the time. Whenever you're reading an article and you see a link which you can click on, that is a backlink to the site that it's going to. Now, there are 2 components though. One is the address. Okay, so if I click on this, where's it going to send me? And then the second thing, and this is crucial, absolutely crucial, that your keyword, your key phrase, must be the text in that backlink. So there are 2 components to a backlink. There's the address itself, okay? And there's the actual text that's written on it. So what's that blue? Often it's blue highlighted or underlined. What's the text that's highlighted or underlined? And when I clicked that highlighted or underlined text, where does it take me? They're the 2 elements. That's it. It's all you need to know. And, as I started to say just then, the most crucial element of this, crucial, and the thing that most people stuff up, is that what we call the anchor text, in other words, what's written there that you press, must have your keyword phrase in it. Okay, that is the crucial element. Get that right, and everything else is gravy. And fortunately, don't even worry about understanding it now, okay? We're going to show you again and again and again and again over the coming modules all about this crucial and key element, because that's it. When it comes to doing anything with the search engines, there's only 2 elements. There's making sure all of your stuff that's going on the page, the on-screen factors, are right, and you've done that. And now we're going to start generating backlinks to your site. And remember, 2 components to backlinks. One's the address, we know what that is, that's your website, right? And then the second thing is what's written on that thing that you click. And we need to make sure that's your keyword phrase. Okay, so that's the backlinks. Now, the only other element that we need to throw into the mix here at this point is that not all backlinks are created equal. Okay? What do I mean by that? Well, let me give you by way of metaphor. I think it's a metaphor. I think it is. For example, if, let's pick a phrase at random, forget a phrase, let's just talk about a fact. Okay, let's use one. Ed Dale is the hottest man in the universe. Why? Why is that so hard to believe? Anyway, if somebody tweets that who has 10 followers and nobody following them, or somebody, down the street who has probably some challenges in life says that I'm the hottest man in the street, nobody's going to take notice. But what if Heidi Klum was on Project Runway and just stopped mid-sentence before she said, "You're out"? And she turns to the camera and goes, "Ed Dale is the hottest man in the universe." She sounds more like Arnold Schwarzenegger there, but you get my drift. All of a sudden, if Heidi thinks I'm hot, then that, and she says it on Project Runway, then all of a sudden, do you see that people start paying attention? Who's this Ed Dale guy? Oh, that's interesting. But then, what happens if Jennifer Aniston, also, in her next movie, just stops, turns to the camera and says, "Ed Dale is the hottest man in the universe." And then, all of a sudden, the guys from Queer Eye from the Straight Guy, all of a sudden, they turn around to the camera and say, "Hey, you know what? Ed Dale is the hottest man in the universe." What if, all of a sudden, Barack Obama, in the middle of his State of the Union address, turned to the camera and said, "Ed Dale is the hottest man in the universe"? Gee, people might start thinking this. Obviously, if they knew me, no. But the point is, do you get this? And I've probably completely distracted you by that. But the point is, do you see how a person's authority, their so-called, standing, affects what they say about the person? As I say, if somebody just down the street says, "Oh, Ed Dale, you're hot," that's great. I love when that happens. What do you mean it's never happened? But it means nothing to anybody. But if a supermodel, or if a dozen supermodels, all of a sudden, say that Tyra Banks on her next show says Ed Dale's the hottest man in the universe, then all of a sudden, right, it has some authority. And that is exactly what backlinks are. Because the site that your backlink appears on, Google gives a certain authority to. And how we measure that, and that's what PR is. When we say a site is PR, page rank, is it PR4, is it a PR5, is it PR6, is it PR0? Now, all backlinks are good backlinks. This is something that you also must understand. I've seen a huge misconception all over the place that, only high PR backlinks are useful. It's just not true. Not true at all. The vast majority of backlinks that anybody gets are from very low authority sites. However, when somebody, like if CNN links to your site, that's going to contain a huge amount of authority. Now, that's all we're going to talk about at this point. And you may hear things about follow and no follow and all these sorts of things. Forget it, please. Please forget it. Don't stress. Don't worry about it. It's just not interesting or useful to you guys at this point, okay? I've told you all you need to know. And what we're going to do over the course of this next week is show you some great ways to start to get backlinks. But here's the thing, and let me address this right now. There are many ways to get backlinks which bluntly are a bit spammy. They are done by robots, or they are done by pieces of software. Now, don't get me wrong, they have their place. They have their time and they have their place. But you know what we discovered? And this is what's so exciting about Module 3, is the question we sat down and asked ourselves over 12 months ago. The lab started looking at this. Is there a way that we could be totally ethical, totally ecological, totally positive in terms of providing great, wonderful information into our niche, and have it be leverageable? In other words, do once and have it have multiple impact, and still be seen to be extremely valuable and useful to everybody in the market, and also have the potential to get you a few backlinks as well. Is that a possibility? And as you're about to see over the course of this module, it's not only possible, it's very real. We've tested the hell out of it, and it makes total sense. Totally, as we say in the business, you might have heard the phrases white hat and black hat. White hat being, totally lily white and beautiful, black hat being evil. This is totally white hat, and I'm very proud of this strategy because, as you'll see in upcoming modules, this is how you become a leader in your market. This is what, I suppose, a secret that people either consciously or unconsciously were doing in their market to become a market leader. And you're going to see this through this module. I'm so excited about this module because it lays the groundwork for something that's very, very exciting. You think module 3 is exciting. Wait till you see modules 4 and 5. But enough about that. Let's concentrate on module 3. So, what is our action point for today? Because don't worry, you're not getting off that easy. I really just wanted you to understand those concepts, and feel free to read the transcripts when it comes up and watch the video again, just to make sure it's clear in your head. Okay? So, do that, and then your action today is 10 minutes. Okay, set the timer. I want you to do 10 minutes of fueling. In other words, surf those websites, read those forums, do another search on Market Samurai, have a look at all the new and different content that's available to you. Read, absorb, just suck in fuel for the information on your niche. Then, what I want you to do is set the timer again for 10 minutes, okay, 10 minutes, and then do a free writing session where you just write, remember, fast as you can, type as fast as you can. Feel free to write blah, 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 but whatever you do, do not stop writing for that 10 minutes. Okay, as you've already seen on the forums, the results of this have been nothing short of spectacular. A lot of people were skeptical, but it has been awesome. So I want you to do that. Then I want you to spend the last 10 minutes editing something that you did last week. Don't, whatever you do, remember a key part of this whole process is to let whatever you've written rest. As soon as you've turned off that 10 minutes, I want you to save it, put it away, and don't you dare look at it until tomorrow. Okay? Don't you dare look at it until tomorrow. So if you don't have anything to edit, then leave it. Just, you've got an extra 10 minutes to do some more fueling for tomorrow. But if you do have something to edit, then spend that 10 minutes editing. Make sure you do it in that order. Don't do it in any other order. Fueling, writing, editing. Okay? Never ever do it. And make sure you're editing something from a prior day. Never edit what you've just written. Okay? Don't do it. And with that, you're about to see a pretty extraordinary Module 3. So get that underway. That's your 30 minutes for today. And then we'll get cracking tomorrow in what is a very, very, very exciting strategy, which lays the foundation, really, for the next 2 or 3 modules, which is very exciting. All right, folks, we'll speak soon.
I got to thinking. I thought, you know what? When people type the hottest man in the universe into Google, they really should see me. And I decided to do that at 10:30 this morning. And by 11:30, you can see that I've got number 1 and number 2. Just goes to show you what's possible with what you're going to learn in Module 3. Now, before you get all excited, there's no competition in this area, and there's no commerciality in this phrase whatsoever. But it is the principle. You can also see here that we've gotten number 1 and number 2 for that phrase. So, it's quite extraordinary what's available to you. You will not have results like this because clearly that is a stupid phrase. But it's a lot of fun to see what you can do. If you can do nothing else this week, you can have some fun with some of your friends. All right, enjoy Module 3.